Hey everyone, it's Megan Gilroy, and I am going to be giving out some gold stars today and some get out of jail free cards. So you're going to want to stick around for that. And before I do and tell you what that's all about, I just want to share with you some goal setting tips and thoughts because I know at this time of year, so many of us are reflecting and looking over our year, and we're thinking about what's happening next year. What are we going to do? What are we going to accomplish? What our goals are? And for me, I realized that for so many years, I was always in that place of more. I wanted to achieve more and do more and earn more and reach more people, which are beautiful, beautiful intents. But I think that it also is crucial that you don't skip the first step in goal setting, which is to actually acknowledge where you've come from and what you actually have accomplished. And so if you haven't started your reflecting goal setting, what's happening for the next year process, then I would so recommend just taking a little bit of time to sit down. I like to grab my journal, and first I just kind of do a brain dump of all the things that have happened this year, whether it's changes emotionally, whether I've done some really great inner work, and what were those themes, what were those beliefs I overcame, or what was going on inside of me. I know for this year, a big theme for me was the student becoming the master, and really just speaking up, being clearer what I want, and making that connection to saying what I want and communicating that with other people. So taking stock of the inner work you've done, taking stock of the projects you've gotten accomplished at work, looking at what's happened in your family life. I know for us, we had a really big year of moving and getting settled in our new home and renovating and putting up job charts and just getting really organized family-wise. Looking at what fun you did. Did you go on vacation? Did you take Zumba classes or yoga classes? Or what did you do to help that creativity and that fun in your life? And to really assess the whole picture, because sometimes I think we only look at our work goals and what we accomplish work-wise, and we forget that we have this whole other rich life, that we want to be making money doing what we love, and we also want to be living a lifestyle that we love. So taking the time to really appreciate that. And I often pull out my calendar and I just go through month by month, and that helps trigger memories of what happened. And I also have my famous little white pads. I write everything down on these white pads, so oftentimes I'll flip through those, and that will help me remember exactly what I accomplished, and to take some time to really absorb that and acknowledge, wow. Because I think when we have that gap and we take a look 6 months back or 12 months back, it really helps us gain that perspective, because so often we're in that heads down day to day. We feel like we're not accomplishing enough or doing enough, or our business isn't growing fast enough. And when you take the time to look back over a bigger chunk of time, it can be really surprising what it is that you have accomplished. So hello everyone who's joining me. I'm so excited you're here. This has been a topic that's really up for my life. I'm going to pass out some gold stars today and get out of jail free cards. And we're talking about goal setting. And so the way I want to do my gold stars today, everyone ready? I want you to catch some. So I'm going to blow some gold stars for you, and I want you to make sure that you really acknowledge what it is that you've accomplished this year and all the inner work. So if there is something that you have done that you want to have a shout out and brag a little bit in the chat box, I'd love for you to do that. I think it's so important for us to support each other and really acknowledge what it is we do. So here's your gold stars. Grab one and make sure you really acknowledge yourself and what it is you do. So the second piece of this that has really been up for me is to really acknowledge when you're doing something, if you accomplish it, even if it's 75% done or 95% done, to really give yourself a pat on the back for that, because it's so ingrained in us, especially those of us who are those overachievers and perfectionists, to look at what didn't get done. So we focus on that 5%, or we focus on the 25%, and that so zaps our energy. And so I was just thinking about this morning. I was in my Kundalini yoga class, and we were doing leg lifts where you lie on your back and you lift your leg up, and you need to bring your legs all the way down to the floor. And I am working on getting the strength to do that. And so as I was doing them, I think we were supposed to do 108, and I probably did 25, And I was just saying to myself, wow, that's awesome. You did 25 of these and you're going to build up to 108. And I know for years, I would have had that more critical and judgmental voice going on in my head of like, you didn't get to 108, you'll never be able to do this. And now I have more of a cheerleader voice inside of my head instead of a judge voice. And I'm always encouraging myself just to look at the positive and look at what did happen. So even with these Facebook Lives a couple weeks ago, I was all hot and heavy, and I did a bunch of them in a week, and I have that intent to share my message at a much bigger level. And then I went away in Thanksgiving, and it didn't happen for a couple weeks. And I noticed that voice creeping inside of me of saying, oh, just try again next year, or, you know, you're really not doing as many as you wanted. And instead I was like, you know what, it's awesome. You got started, you're set up now, you can transfer them over to YouTube, you can put them out in newsletters. So congratulate yourself for what you did do. So that is your get out of jail free card, just like a Monopoly. And I want you guys to, and ladies, to remember that when you're looking at what you accomplished, or when you're going through what your tasks are for the day, to make sure you acknowledge what is getting done. And even to acknowledge the scope of what you get done. Because I know for myself, I sometimes have in my mind my to-do list. And if I am getting things done that don't match up with that mental to-do list, or even the physical to-do list I check that I keep, then I feel like I've failed, or I haven't gotten enough done that day. And that is so depleting. And so now I've been trying to just recognize, oh, right, I went to yoga class this morning. That was something that we worked on amplifying our energy. It was great for me physically. I got out of the house, got out of my office. I helped my daughter get dressed, right? She's 3. She still loves having that mama time. Even to get food on the table. If you really, we say thank yous and gratitudes before every meal. And I was just thinking the other day about, I'm like, wow, just to get a meal on the table, it takes all those months of a farmer tending the crops, and to pick them and transport them to the store, and to stock the shelves, and to have the checkout clerks and the accountants for the grocery store, and to drive the food home, and to put it away, and to cook it, and to have, you know, my daughter and son set the table and to eat it and clean up. It's like, wow, just to get a meal on the table every day is an accomplishment. And I think so often we forget there's so many things we do every day that we take for granted, and we don't really appreciate the whole scope and the whole breadth of what it is we're doing. And so don't just look at the things you're accomplishing work-wise, also look at what it is that you have accomplished or experienced or just had that place of beingness. For me, I've been making more time just to like sit still and be in the midst of my family life and not constantly be doing something. And that's so restorative for my soul, and it reminds me to be more in the moment. And it actually gives me more energy than when I do come to sit down and work to fuel that. So I hope you will take your gold star and do your goal setting with first looking to the past, seeing what you accomplished, and then also using your get out of jail free card and just giving yourself that break and seeing the positive and cheerleading yourself into success. So if you have a great idea for how to do goal setting, or how to uplift yourself and motivate yourself when you're looking to do more tasks, I'd love to hear what you do in the chat box. I will be looking at comments even after this is over. And if you would be so kind to like and share, I would love that. It's great to see all of you joining me, and I will catch you soon. Take care.